Yeah, it's I think I like it way better than Zoom and Meet and all those others. How's your summer going?
Oh, too fast. Too fast. It feels like it is slipping away from me. But I'm gonna try to fix that as soon as possible.
Pickleberg this weekend.
Yes, yes. Super excited about that. I haven't actually scheduled what day I'm gonna go, but that's definitely happening. Trying to get my screens together here. Are you going to Picklesburg?
Well, yeah. So this weekend we have a trip to Minneapolis.
Hmm.
My son is marrying a woman. His fiance is from Minneapolis. Now they're just moving her into the north side now. So
Okay.
she's just started her first week of work. It's a Boston company, but she's had a relationship with them in the past. And
Hmm.
they have a Pittsburgh office up 28, sort of toward New Ken, industrial type thing.
Okay.
And yeah, so she does like consulting, a new product manager or something. So yeah, so we're real excited about going there. They're going to get married in on December 20th in Minneapolis.
Oh,
But this
woo.
is sort of a little family confab, and yeah, we met him once before. It was in New York City. Now we'll be on their home turf.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah, it is. He's our oldest and our first to get married, and one other guy. So then the real inside story for us. So my next son is has a new woman in his life, and
Hmm.
she's coming along on this trip there too. So
Oh, they
she
may be
lives,
next in line, huh?
yeah, right. She lives in Indianapolis.
Okay. Okay.
He's presently and doing the consulting things, but their client is in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we're bouncing around a little bit. They are. I'm sort of hunkered at home.
Yes. 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 All right. You want to talk about here about the reviews from
I would love
your
to.
moonshot? Let's see. All right. So for this round, actually, the review process, typically we will have two people review in the first round of the submission. But this time we actually recruited more reviewers. And so the first round went through four reviewers. And so I can't share who exactly reviewed
That's
it, but
okay.
I can share their feedback to give you a sense of how it scored, what things, the
Sure.
reviewers did or did not understand or did or did not think were compelling about your application. Um, and then as far as the rubric, so some of the questions were like the kind of basic yes or no questions that the reviewers had to answer. The first one is, does the LOI push thinking around the working group priority area that they selected? So, of course, you were in the personalized learning, and three out of the four reviewers selected no for that question. Um, I don't have any specific feedback on these questions in particular on why they chose that, but I think it's still helpful to know where they
Yep.
landed. Um, the next question, does the LOI aim to support marginalized learners? And let's see, you got two yeses and two nos for that one. Um, the next one, does it include partnerships? All yes across the board for that one. And then, is the idea truly bold? And so your reviewers were split on this one, two yes, two no. Um, the question that we really, so after the first round of reviewers, the question that we really kind of pay attention to is would they recommend this idea for funding? And then we ask them to give us feedback on that. So for as far as recommending for funding, 3 reviewers said no and 1 said yes. Now, if we look at the feedback, the one that said yes, their feedback was the use of an AI tool for mentoring and coaching in aquatics stands out and is very intriguing. Also, the goal of partnering with many organizations to test the ideas speaks to the experimentation of the proposal. So this reviewer seems to like be very, mindful of like what you were proposing, how it would be used. I didn't get a sense that that they saw any concerns around what you were proposing and thought it was a bold idea. For the other 3 that said no to a recommendation, this first feedback says, as a reviewer, I'm struggling to understand how this AI-driven program will work. This proposal lacks details in terms of how and when it will be used with educators, coaches, athletes, etc. What exactly is the role? The impact listed is compelling, but I cannot connect the dots as to how the coaching wizard lifespan learning leads to the intended outcomes. So that seems to be just some confusion overall around what the wizard would do. The next reviewer, they listed, I don't think this idea is inherently aligned with the personalized learning working group. I do think that there is something interesting about the approach. It would likely be better fit with the civic learning group. Not sure if I completely agree with that. And then they also say, I don't really understand how the AI mentoring facet would work, what skills it will help build, and how that relates at all to the swimming in pools. And then the third one, I love that this is an ambitious plan. However, engaging 30 to 50 participation sites seems a bit unrealistic without mentioning how those partnerships would be established. Showing evidence that you've already been building and growing partnerships will go a long way towards helping readers feel that the stated goals are achievable. So it's kind of a mix, as you can hear, like some just not really understanding the function of the wizard and how the coaching wizard and how it fits into what you're proposing. And then another level of like, how would you do this with so many sites? I think they just don't have enough context and knowledge
Right.
on that.
Yeah, we have 130 teams in the WPIL or high schools, and 70 have swimming teams. So like,
Yeah, so for you, 50 is nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So what are after hearing the feedback, like what are some of your thoughts or maybe questions?
well, I definitely am in a scramble. I need to pick up some cash to sort of, and I have a plan to go from here to like the LA Olympics. Los Angeles is hosting the Olympics in July, and Paralympics are in August of 2028.
Okay.
So, I'm counting the months. I got 36 months where, I have a burn rate. I would love to get $1,000 a month for all these different utilities. And then I think at the end of that, I would have, 300 customers, or through that process, I would grow to 300 customers. And by the LA Olympics, we'd have, $30,000 a month coming in. So I'm trying now to find some tech partners. I have a meeting a little bit later today, but I also think that the having a CRM that's viable for these nonprofit types, the people that are Remake Learning people, should be able to use the calendars and the SMS and the email and have it all working with multiple people, and they could really scale. So, that's that selling the SMS that would make good sense. So yeah, well, I know that when I was running camps, I longed for something like this. I was building stuff here and there, and whether it's attendance or reaching out to parents or guardians or whatever. So, and I think there's ways to really bolster it with AI these days and make it affordable.
Okay.
So for $100 a month, I think you were getting a lot of bang for the buck. Now, anyways, that I just see a need. I see the packages we have available here. I need to do a little more development, but I dare not go into the marketplace until if I'm already running on empty. So
Gotcha.
I don't want to shoot myself in the foot.
Gotcha.
There are two main things that I have to do, for the swimming areas, and with relationship to keeping the times, and it takes another level. And also with safe sport, you always have to email or send a text message to the kid and simultaneously send it to the parent and guardian. And so a couple of those utilities I haven't plugged in yet. I don't, I know where they're available, but they're going to cost even more per month. And I don't want to pull the trigger on that and then run out of money in a couple of months.
Right. Gotcha.
So yeah, the whole AI experience, there's such a shortage of swim instructors and coaches, and if you could get somebody that was a history teacher or a bus driver or parent and say, hey, let's get you certified so you can be technically a lifeguard, but at the same time, we're going to give you all the tools so that you're not going to be wasting your time, and you and the kids can have a productive experience without ever being a swimmer yourself, or here's your recipe. That's I think that's what we are shooting for.
So the coaching wizard the function is to help lead to more coaches, right? So like people could go through a process, this system, and come out a certified coach.
Well, we have that, and that's sort of the older way. But I think the coaching wizard will be something you would refer to almost daily or weekly. Hey, what's my lesson plan for today? And it would get to know your kids or know your schedule, and it would get to know their abilities and their times, and so it could help you with the planning. It could help you with the teaching. You could share your videos with it. So there are a lot of I think more day-to-day things that would really help. And then because people just don't want to sit down and read 3 textbooks before they take the job, yet alone get certified and have some of these other hurdles as getting their clearances and stuff. So I think when they show up with the pool deckers, they got to be able to say, okay, we got this on my iPad, and here we go.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think that may have been something that wasn't really clear, it sounds like, to the reviewers, the versatility of the wizard. Because to me that does sound more aligned with the personalized learning priorities. But I'm guessing and I've scanned I wasn't one of your reviewers, but I scanned your application. I think that wasn't super obvious for them.
Right. I I understand. Yeah, just sort of staying in the boxes of that those questions and all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we gave it a good try. All right. Well, thanks for that feedback. I don't know where else to turn right now. Um,
Yeah, I
so
think I'm wondering how, well, one, if you're even comfortable with like highlighting more the versatility of the project instead of focusing on swimming, but like using it as an example of, implementation option, but maybe focusing more because I think that could broaden who you ask funds for. Um, and I'm trying to think of like which foundations would be interested in something like that.
yeah, that's one thing that I've somewhat found is that yeah, there's a lot of effort in after school, with A post and such, but they have a pretty much iron wall, and we don't do sports. And so and I've talked to a couple others. I don't know if it was maybe it was a Heinz or somebody, and they said, sports, we don't do it. So, but these are the same kids that are
Right.
in after school, and then, we want them, so it made me think that, well, okay, I better than just ask, Mario Lemieux for money,
Mm,
but then those guys say, yeah, we do hockey or we do flag football. We don't do, something
yeah,
that's,
yeah,
whole body in the schools.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is the challenge.
And if we have swimmers and lessons, since Ed Gainey's been mayor, until this last week or so, they haven't taught swim lessons in the city for 4 years.
Mm,
Our lone city-owned indoor pool, the Oliver Bathhouse, has been closed. So,
yeah,
you know,
but it's reopening now, right?
well, it's going to reopen in September, we think.
Okay.
Yeah, there's water in it, but but it, yeah. So that'll be nice to have a little pool that was built, in the 1920s. Is our showcase best pool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I should have been born or raised up in a different city. But these, yeah. Anyways, and boy, we're seeing so much with, even with these, these Texas flash floods, that not
Floods, yeah.
anybody's going to swim in there, but it would be really nice to be able to navigate some waters.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm just, I love swimming. I know it's really important. And yeah, I just wish we had a better infrastructure with city parks. And actually, I'm knocking on the door of hopefully Mayor-elect O'Connor.
Mhm.
Unless he goes to jail or something, he's going to be the mayor. So
I hope he doesn't go to jail.
no, it would have. It would take like something
Something
big,
drastic. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the other sides are all dysfunctional too. So but we have to get ramped up on this. And anyways,
Gotcha. Well, Mark, I can keep my ear out.
okay,
And but yeah, I think it's unfortunate, but I think just wasn't clear on what exactly would be done and just couldn't grasp it. And
yeah.
that's
And
the
if I don't get
challenge.
somebody that likes swimming or that knows sport or something, I'm just I, um, it's sometimes that some of that stuff is just so obvious that, but so swimming's a pretty technical thing, and I think this would really be a good way to um, give confidence to the non-swimming coach to supervise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't need to take more of your time. Thanks a lot for the feedback.
You're very welcome.
And yeah, if there's anything else coming with AI down the pike, I'll keep plugging on, checking it out.
All right. Sounds
All right.
good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.